Welcome again to Tuff. I'm Mark Bonto, and again, we have our great panelists. First of all, my lovely co-host, Deanna Avery.
Hello.
Lovely. Lisa Quaid.
Yep.
Lisa, welcome again.
You're welcome to have me here.
I don't know what that means. Next to me, Janice Berryman.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jana Banana.
And Carrie Webb. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you.
Wait, did you want to talk about what you were just talking about, Jan?
Running over people in parking lots.
Yeah.
No, we never hit anyone.
No, I take it back.
That's a good story. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but that's a good story.
Well, I talked to that person. I had him on my show, and I asked him about the big deal they did down in Detroit with the concerned pastors and everything. And, people were saying, well, who got to speak on that? And where'd that money go? I said, why do people keep saying you guys got money from that?
They didn't.
They're like, no, we didn't get any money. So I don't know.
It's in the lawsuit. I have a copy of it if anybody ever wants a copy. It was $895,000 that was split between anyone that helped mediate that, anyone in the room. Her signature is right on that with the concerned pastors.
Ugh.
I have a copy.
Pastors.
Well, thank you. That's what I call it.
That's their name. That's what we all call
But,
them.
I wonder
She said the
why.
unconcerned pastors.
Where are the activists like that and the pastors when they need volunteers to give out the water?
Right.
Why don't we see any of those people at any of those
Christopher
sites?
Martin, one of the unconcerned pastors, put up quite a post after the water was taken away from the city of Flint that people in Flint need to quit their damn whining.
Exactly.
Now, he
I saw
lives in
that.
Grand Blanc, so kiss my ass.
Right.
But his church is in Flint, so he's like, well, I wash my hands in it and I
Yeah.
do other things. But then
Yippee-dippy.
when you go home, you get to bathe in good old
That's
Grand Blanc
right.
water while we over here running through our shower real fast.
That's right.
Can't even enjoy it.
Where did
No,
he say
you
this?
can't.
Where did he say this?
Oh, it was all over.
It's
He
a
put
big
it right
old-
on Facebook.
Yeah.
He said we ought to quit our whining?
Yeah.
Yes, quit our whining, quit the
He
desire
said
for
the
water.
water
It
is
was
not that bad, and quit whining. We getting handouts.
Yeah.
That's because he got paid off.
well,
Good point.
see, the unconcerned pastors have been in
As
this
it- as
from
they're
the
now
beginning.
known.
Yeah,
Because they
Yes.
got the hush-hush filters in the very beginning
Oh,
for
yeah.
their congregations, and they took that on a shut-up, don't say anything from the governor.
when they passed out about 1,500 of them.
That was it,
Yeah,
which is an eighth of the city, so that's beautiful. That was a
Yeah.
big help for
so
the rest of
the
us.
line will be 5 miles long and be like the first 10 people.
Right.
Right.
After
Exactly.
that, no.
After that, yeah. And that
Right.
was like a year and a half
Mm-hmm.
before the Flint water crisis was even acknowledged. And so, no, they've been dirty since the get. They just keep getting dirtier. I do take issue with anyone making money off of this. I take huge issue with that. I have never taken a cent. I've never taken money for... I take that back. I have taken money twice for gas to deliver water. And that was the last week they ran water because Stephanie and I ran all day.
Her daughter.
Thursday, yep, Stephanie, my
I
daughter,
have to tell you.
beautiful child. She and I ran all day from the time the announcement came Friday until the water was out Tuesday. We were out there from 10:30 in the morning till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And at that point, I had gone through $140 in gas already. The lines were almost 2 hours long. So that one time,
This is the only time you took money. How much did you take?
I think it was $50. No, really, it was $30.
Not 51 now.
Right, no, it wasn't. We had 2 donations. It was 30 in one vehicle. That was Stephanie's because it's a gas hog.
Right.
And 20 in mine.
And
Other than that, we paid.
and all the work that you've done throughout the years, I mean,
Yeah, for 4 years of delivering water, we've
You've been doing a lot.
absolutely.
And I can
Tried.
attest to you because we argued over this
oh yes, more than once.
and about her taking gas money. And when it got down to the nitty gritty
You
that
told
it
her
was
to.
closing down, I gave her
Yeah. She was
$50
hot.
that time, and I was hot. She wasn't going to take it. I said, "You will take it,
Yeah.
or
I'm
I
gonna run you over.
Yeah,
absolutely."
and Jan has a power about her.
And she'll do that too. She knows.
And the way Jan and I first met, and this is an amazing thing, I did not know any of you prior to the water crisis. I did not know Jan. Now, the funny thing is, Jan, Liam, Walters, myself, and 2 other very, very good friends I made out of this. We live within a 2-mile radius. Had no idea of each other before the water crisis. Jan and I connected September 18th of 15. I had found out September 15 of 15 the water had lead in it. I met her online. I had no idea who she was. She reached out to me. Go ahead with your part.
I reached out to her and I says, Carrie, we have to do something. I says, I know you guys are out there delivering to the shut-ins and that.
Yep.
I said, I will buy the water
If I could deliver.
if you can deliver it. And that's how we connected.
That's what a great.
that's
story.
And I
nice.
went to Jan's house and met her for the first time in her driveway, picked her up. She bought over 200 cases of water one weekend. 200 cases out of pocket.
Wow.
I've never been so touched by a human being.
That's amazing.
And the girls and I literally would drive into a neighborhood, roll open the van doors, because at this point nobody was doing water.
They're not delivering anymore either. They had
No.
they would tell you to call 211 and you had to be sick and shut in and
Yep.
3 eyes and no legs, can't have a car.
Yeah.
So I called one day and I said,
Sad as
so
hell.
how do you get on this list? And she named off all these things you can't have. And I said, so I have a car, but I'm still handicapped and I need, some water. I mean, yeah, I can bring it home and then I wait for my son to bring it in the house.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna do this one time.
Yes.
So here comes the truck rolling down and they plops it right on the corner of the porch. Well, I said, well, how many cases do I get? He goes, you get 10 if your water's on and 20 if it's off. And couldn't get another drop. We look up, here come U-Haul through the neighborhood, Penske truck loaded with water.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up to the guy and said, I can't get any water down the street. He looked at me, he said, no, you got a car and you're not on the list.
Yeah.
Said, well,
boy.
alrighty then. And I quickly drove off.
And it got worse. It got to where the shut-ins were getting 4 cases a week. This is when I went from
And that's the mayor thought that was a good thing because
Yeah.
she thought she had done so much
Mayor's an idiot.
when she said,
I
oh,
said it
yeah,
right
when-
out loud.
when she
I second
said-
it.
Yeah, because when she
And
said
I agree
that,
with you.
I was through. I said,
She's a rich idiot from our money in the pockets.
but
She
who's
and her
supposed to
friends.
live on 4 cases of water when there's
Exactly.
people that use 10 a day?
Yeah.
And she's talking about, well, we're going to have to cut it down to 4 a week.
And then I had people, because I wound up with 67 families in the end. It started out a handful and then just exploded. But a lot of these people, okay, you figure I've done this for 4 years, 3.5 years. These are no longer just people I know in passing. We've become very close. Some of these people are very much family members now. The day that I had to tell them, folks, I'm done. And this is over. And I made that announcement that once the pods closed, we would come to an end.
Yeah.
That Friday night, after we delivered water as much as we could from the 1:30 announcement, we sat at home, my husband, myself, both of my children, and we made a list of our 67 families. And for the first time ever, had to find a way to prioritize who gets water first. I have never been as depressed and as hopeless as I was that night. And at the rate Stephanie and I ran those last 4 days, and we were both at a pod when they closed that Tuesday, I let folks know Tuesday afternoon this would be it. I could not afford to buy water for anyone. I could not afford to provide for my family either. And then I loved them all. And I did the best I could. And that was it. And I still get every day. It's died down some. I'm down to about 60 requests a day for water.
They should have never closed the pods.
They
No,
never
they
should.
should not.
They had people in
No.
line when it was up there on Dort Highway because I live right off Dort,
I
and
do too.
they had the line was way down the day they closed. They was like, "Oh, we're gonna be there one more day," and they
then
weren't.
No, and then they closed that
But they
afternoon.
closed that Tuesday, but somehow they had told people they were gonna be there
Yeah.
one more day that Wednesday. So I happened to go past there, and they was lined up first thing that morning, all the way
Yeah.
down to like Atherton Road.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
they were closed because there were no trucks or anything up there. And so I pulled up in the parking lot and I told one guy, I was like, well, you know, yesterday was the last day.
Yeah.
And they was like, no, they're coming today. I said, you know, I wanted to say, but you don't see any trucks out here
Right.
because the trucks would be there like 30 minutes early.
Yep.
No trucks. So those people, you know, you see them gradually getting out of line. But it was pretty sad.
The heartache.
Oh, it was heartbreaking.
Looking at all
Yeah.
those people, you know.
Because some of us, and that's the thing, I know if I had done things different, if I had chosen to do things different, I could have stocked my family up with water that last 4 days. And we made the option and the choice not to. We wound up with 20 cases of water in my house. We delivered out 245 cases in 3 days. That is a damn lot of water to move. Stephanie in one vehicle, I was in the other one, and we were one women teams. It wasn't like we had help. We were alone. And it literally was grab 8 cases. Normally I would deliver water and I would visit with whoever's home I'm in. I mean, literally grab 8 cases, throw them on somebody's lawn, take off. You could only get 8 at a time. So I had to keep going to all the different pods to get enough water. And
you only had 20 yourself.
we wound up with 20.
And
I
I-
think it might have been 21.
And I can tell you a
Didn't you have
story
some
about
problem
this
with some
lady.
of the pod people?
Had a terrible time.
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
Franklin was horrible.
Remember that.
The one woman told me that the elderly and disabled were not her damn problem and they weren't mine, and I should just ignore that.
Oh,
Wow.
gee, that's a
I wanted to
nice
bring that
person
up
to
too in a
have.
second. Jen, you had something quick to say.
I can tell you, and I delivered with this lady, I mean, and I was told by my doctor, you will not lift
Yeah,
any
she
more
couldn't.
cases of water. But I watched this girl until this girl got frostbite on her
Wow.
feet and her hands.
Yeah, a little bit last winter.
A little bit.
It got kind of bad last winter.
What a heart. What a heart. In that little body, you've got that huge heart.
It
Yes,
was-
do.
It's just the
Unbelievable.
love of my fellow man. I mean, and
That's
it's
awesome.
and it wasn't. 90% of Flint didn't know I was doing this until the last 2 months. This was never anything I did
That
to
you
gain any
said.
praise. This all came from
Right.
just our hearts.
Wow.
But I still don't see why there were not like extra city employees at the
Yes.
spots. And you know, when they had the National Guard here, they was only here for a little while.
Right.
But then all the churches,
Yeah.
they could have brought the youth programs up there. And
Yeah,
help
they
out.
could have moved.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
they
like
could've done a lot
over
more.
at United Belton, they were saying they need to have more people. And I'm like, y'all got youth that go here. Why don't you bring some of these boys up in here? Because you go over to Asbury, they had boys and
Yeah.
girls. They had all of them out there working. That's why their lines move so fast.
But see,
So
I bet
who were the people? Because we were talking about the bad, the people at the bad.
Yeah.
Who were they? Because we've had some really bad experiences.
I don't remember her name off the top of my head.
I don't remember.
I did go back and get it.
But I mean, where did they get these people from? Specifically, who were?
they,
Some-
they pay them.
Well, yeah, they were paid $11.
So they
You
apply?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
apply to work
It
there.
was the
Applied
core
through the
Michigan
city.
Works.
It was
Yeah.
the core
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, it was the core program,
Yeah.
and they hired them to work there.
I wonder who they is who
They-
hired them.
Probably the
Three
city.
guesses and the first two don't count.
No, I mean somebody pretty incompetent to
Well,
not.
the
Yeah.
city hired them
Well,
because
she's
they
still running
have.
the city, so there you go.
And you know they kept saying the AARP was going to be coming
Yes.
out. They never came to
No.
my house. I never saw anybody in little red tops or none of that.
No.
And they kept showing the commercial. Well, we joined the Corps. We're going to be coming to your house. I never saw any. I kept saying, okay, I'm waiting on them. Because I got rid of my AARP. That crap of discount is not worth anything.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
It's not. I use my AAA discount.
No,
better
this
than
is
that.
my last year. I'm good through 19.
got
I'm
rid
not
of 'em.
rejoining our.
It,
Yeah.
yeah, it
That's
doesn't
good to
even
know.
work, because
good.
when we travel, we look for discounts, and every time AAA is better than the senior discount. So
Yeah.
I'm like, shred that card. I called the girl. I said, why y'all keep sending me this? She said, well, because your name is in the system. I said, well, then push the button, delete, and take it out.
That's right.
I just got a card the other day. I just shredded. I'm saying, I am so sick of these people.
We're still getting
Aw.
cards from Mike's great uncle that we took care of for 8 years. He died in 2013. We got a card 2 weeks ago.
No,
and it's
no.
like,
That service, that's a
wishing you
fraud.
luck. I mean, he hasn't renewed since 2008.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's kind of hard. But, yeah, we still get them.
It's hard to get out of. It's like the mafia. Once
Yeah.
you get in, you can't.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
But,
So, yeah, in the beginning, the city said they were hiring all citizens to work the pods, to go back to that question. In the early days, it was citizens, and they were very nice people.
Right, that's what I mean. When did the crossover happen? Because I don't remember that.
After the state was out, that October of 17, no,
Oh, okay.
October 16, when the state was out, somehow we started seeing a lot of people coming in from Grand Blanc and Davison. These were no longer Flint people. They were not near as nice.
They were just hiring anybody
Yes.
to get them in there to do the job.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, they were saying that they were going door to door. They never came to our door.
They
they
wouldn't
came to
leave
my
ours.
house too many times.
Yes, I'm with
Just
you.
over and over and over. And I said, don't you have my name in there to tell you I don't want y'all at my door? Okay, I'm going to do it right now.
Yes.
And then he get on the phone and he blame it on somebody else. I done told them. We look up the next 2 weeks, here they come down the street again. I'm sitting there with the door open. I'm like, okay, I know y'all not coming to my house. Here they come up to the door. I go to the door one day, I'm like, what?
What could you possibly
I said,
want?
what? I said, I already told y'all I don't want filters. I said, you're supposed to have my name in there. Now, what do you want now? Oh, well, okay, I promise you.
Uh-huh.
They
Next
came
week?
by my house 6 times.
Was it just the filters or was it water too?
No, just filters.
Just filters.
Yeah, they just come by and give you filter. I said, I don't want a filter. I got a filtration
Yeah.
system. I don't want a filter.
No, we haven't.
6 times they came by
Oh, Lisa.
before I could get them to understand I don't want you by here.
Because
The communication
Ask Carrie,
is poor.
on my-
Very poor in Flint.
thanks to the water, I had a new water faucet that my nephew put in. It was 2 or 3 years old.
It was not old at all.
And the good old Flint water ate right through it.
Oh, wow.
So the
Are you
water was
serious?
spraying all over the
It
place.
did my
Oh,
filtration
my.
like that when it first turned over
Yep.
because all of a sudden I'm looking in the tank going, the salt is not going down. And you know, the guy come out, he's like, well, you don't need salt. And then all of a sudden it started making funny noise. They come out 3 times because it had chewed up the little rings in there, the
Yeah.
little rubber rings.
Oh, wow.
And the guy pulled it out. He said, look at this. And he tapped it like this and all this sediment come out, like little shards. So
Yeah.
it was just chewing up stuff.
Yep.
And then finally, you know, it stopped. But it was like, this is what filters are supposed to catch. So I was looking at articles where people were saying, you know, our filters are bad, this and that.
Right.
Well, I never had any problem with it. But the worst thing is the filter, you know, you can't run hot water through it.
Right.
No, you
So
can't.
now you got to filter your cold, then you got to boil it, then you
Yeah,
got
I'm
to
not
do all
that
this.
dedicated.
I just was like, no, I'm not
Well,
doing it.
And just like I know you've all heard that you can get the hot water heaters through G-Card. Well,
right.
that's a big
About
farce.
3 people might
Yeah.
be able because you can't
Because-
get through.
That's so wrong.
And finally, the good old Flint City Water. You know I love Flint City Water. Ate through my hot water heater.
Oh, yes, it did.
Well, see, that's why I did mine ahead of time because mine had rusted out. I had my plumber come and drain it. The first time you can only drain down so far. So the first time he drained it, it was rust and crap in the water. No, it was slime. It was slime.
Oh.
Okay, so it filled back up and everything. And then this, after I got the filtration system and all that from Culligan, then I had him come and do it again. And this time it was rust. So I said, well, that's telling me that it's going to eat a hole through that and I'm going to have water all over my house. And my house is on a slab. So there's
Right.
nowhere for the water to go except through my whole house.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I got a call from Jan, and she said, I have a leak in the kitchen. And I said, okay, I'll get over there as soon as I can. And I think it was, the next day?
Yeah.
I go over and I'm like, so I'm talking to Jan because I'm just total moron. And I said, it can't be that bad. And as I'm saying it can't be that bad, I turn the faucet on and water is spraying straight back into the wall and straight back in. And I shut it off and I went, oh, Jan, that's that bad. That's not bad.
Exactly.
So she called me 3 weeks later. She said, I think my hot water heater's leaking. I'm like, it can't be. I get over there. Here's a whole string. Hey, Jan, that's leaking.
Oh, no.
So I had been told by G-Card because I
Fit the
do make
qualifications.
and well
Nobody should
you
have
don't
to.
qualify. So
Yeah.
what I did is I went to Home Depot, and weren't you with me when I bought? So I had to get a Home Depot card. I didn't want a Home Depot card, but I got one now. But I'm
You
gonna
can
tell
build anything you want, Dan.
I'm not going to tell you what kind of limit they gave me because I didn't want that big a limit.
They give
Because you
everybody a
spend
big
They
limit
did
from the
that with
beginning.
me,
Because
too.
when I
They
first
went
got
to-
mine, but I ended up getting mine at my water heater at Lowe's and had them come and install it. And
Well,
everything.
Home
they
Depot
contracted
installed
out.
mine.
They were the cheapest I could find because I thought Menards would be cheaper than all of them, but actually Lowe's ended up being cheaper than Menards.
That's
Wow.
unusual.
Well,
So-
we know ours is going.
So anyway, I bought the hot water heater. Luckily, I have consumers insurance. So consumers paid for most of the
Good.
hot water
That's a
heater.
plus.
But it cost me more
To install it.
to install it than what the hot water heater
Labor
cost
is
me.
always
Yeah, are you
like
serious?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Serious
labor
high.
is big.
And, you
It
know,
could be double that because if you have a door installed like by one of those big box and the door like $250, your labor gonna be $250.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And once again, it goes back to what you said the last week. Well, from what they're watching.
right, yes.
If you give us the funds, we should allocate them.
Yes.
I mean, look at all the different
Yeah.
types of
I
reasons
had to
why we need
replace
money.
mine. I had to do all the plumbing in my house, and I didn't know a plumber that wasn't gonna cost me an arm and leg. So luckily, my realtor sent me somebody that does his, and they own a company here. He came in. He said, "Well, you got two choices. You can do bust up the floor and get the same kind of PVC, or we do the PEX pipe. That's what all the plumbers use now, the new
Right.
PEX."
Sure.
And he said it'll cost this much for this and a whole lot more for that because I only do plumbing. So that means you gotta get. We're gonna bust up the floor, but then somebody else gotta come and fill it back in.
Right.
Then you gotta get a new floor. Then I got $1,000 deductible in my house. I said, so what? I'm gonna be out of a whole lot of money.
Right.
So I went on and had him do the PEX. And then when Lowe's did the plumbing, I told the girl I took the receipts downtown and I turned in the water heater too. And she's like, we don't do water heaters. And then she goes, well, unless it has something to do. I said, yeah, because the water heater kept running and running and running because it was trying to keep up with this leak I had.
Right.
So I turned in all of the paperwork, and now 6 months later, I'm still waiting on my big credit that they're
You
supposed to
still
give
don't
me.
have that check?
I don't have a check. They're supposed to give me a one-time credit on half the bill. They're not gonna even give me all of it.
No,
They're
that's
gonna just
sad.
take half of it.
Oh come
And they
on.
supposed to put that on my account because I was like looking at her going, because I told my neighbor, I was like, my neighbor said, well, go down there, they'll give you a credit. They gave us a credit. He didn't tell me it was a credit on the bill. I'm thinking I'm going to get a fat check to get all
Right.
my money back. So I go down there and I'm just like, can any of this be a check? And she's like, no, we have to do a credit and we only do half.
Oh,
I said, how you do half? You told me to bring the whole receipt. If that's the case, I could have cut the page in half and brought it. I mean,
right.
what?
Well, and we tried to get a shower filter through the United Way. And let's just say my family lives well below the poverty level. We're just going to leave it there. And I've always been honest about that. I've always said we're poor. This is not a joke. I know we are. Doesn't matter. Most of Flint is. We did not qualify. To get a shower filter, you had to be 200% below the federal poverty level. We're only about 180.
And see, who decides this crap? Because
Yeah.
everybody was poisoned.
Yeah,
because
we should not have
Exactly.
to apply. We should.
But-
everybody's eligible.
This is how the United Way
Who made
decided
up
to
that
do
rule?
it. And I know if I
United
go,
Way.
and it's the
government.
same
Yeah,
thing.
the
If you
government.
go
Yeah, it
to
all
G
comes down to the
card
government.
and try to get a hot water heater, we're going to get the same thing
Yeah,
because
because
we're
they
not
got
low
this.
enough.
Yeah.
Now we're so broke. You know, eating and living indoors is a perk here.
Well, they already give you.
But no.
They already had said what your qualifications have to be, and that really irks me that they would make us qualify.
Yes.
For something that we had no control over. I was going out to Global getting my filters for a while, and then my brother just happened to post a filter he bought on Amazon that works really good, and they don't even have bad water. He just bought it because it pounds you and all this stuff. And then I bought one from Amazon. It was like $14,
Yeah.
and you can get the little extra cartridges. but it worked really good for what we needed to take out so much. It's never going to take everything out,
Right,
but it
no.
takes out a big chunk of the stuff. You still can't be in there more than 5-6 minutes because I don't trust it. I might melt off and
Right,
be
yeah.
another color when I come out the shower.
Right, and I'll be
I
gone.
know. I go in with no hair, come out with a head of hair. Who knows?
And it's bright green.
I don't know.
Might be a good thing after
It
all.
could be, but I don't want hair. But when you go to Global, you just buy them, but they were $26, and then some people were saying, "Oh, go to United Way, go here and go there." But then, like you said, you got to qualify for a damn filter.
Yeah.
And then
that
the
shouldn't
G
be.
card, when they was like, "Go down and get this," you try to call them, you can't call them. Okay, so my neighbor owns 2 properties on our street, and she told the girls, she was like, "Go down there and see if you qualify for them." Well, I don't know if they ever did, but there's no word. I think she ended up buying the water heater because one of hers started leaking. I did mine before that because I said I had a leak the first time when I first moved in my house. Probably the first 2 years I end up having a leak and I end up replacing it. And back then the water heaters were cheap. I mean, I paid like $400 for everything.
Yeah.
Now you just looking at the cord that goes to the heater or
Well,
something.
and that's
you
it.
know?
We know, we're
That's
waiting
size
for
of it.
ours to go any minute, and we've had a lot of, now it won't stay lit.
Yeah, and
They've
see,
been out a couple
You're
times.
gonna have to.
It still isn't staying lit.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with animal hair. No, it really doesn't because they already cleaned it and it's still doing it. So it wasn't,
no.
no, it
It's
wasn't the
time
animal
for a
hair,
new
by
one
God.
that they should be paying for.
Right, and
'Cause
we're
I-
gonna have to eat it because
Yeah.
we will not. Is
You don't qualify.
crappy as our income is for a family, even of 3, because Steph has moved out. No, we just aren't poor enough. So I don't understand
Whose
where.
regulation was that? Who's
I don't know. This is through G
The
card,
government,
Okay,
they're all
okay.
government
Yeah,
funded,
Michigan
and they have
but
a
this
list
is
that
all
tell you.
donated money.
Don't matter.
All of it's donated, but you have
Somebody
to
is
qualify.
regulating it that makes us
I say
have to qualify.
it's donated to the
Right.
government. So.
But remember when NIP was around, it's the same way. I remember NIP way back when I got divorced. I went down and applied, and at that time they were saying you have to make 10 grand for a family of 2.
Okay.
I worked it. I had just started U of M, and they was only paying me $12,500. So how was I supposed to qualify?
Right.
So I never qualified for anything. I couldn't get WIC. I couldn't get anything.
Because you made too much.
I made too much
Wow,
money.
you're rich.
At one place, it was just like, oh, you like $10 over. So
Yeah.
when they do stuff like that, you
Yeah.
want to reach out and do the 3 Stooge slap.
Yep.
Just take them all out.
That, or you want to be an octopus, you can hit 8 people at once.
Get all of them. Get all
That's
of
right.
them.
That's what I need to be, an octopus.
All right, we
One.
have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to
Yeah.
go. What can we say in 2 minutes?
Well, we can talk about a little bit about this Nestle water thing that
Oh,
people are
boy.
all.
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't want to get the water because it's from Nestle. I think it's a bad decision because I'm gonna take everything free I can get.
And I agree
don't
with
even
you.
care.
My
I don't care.
problem
That
is-
deal is done. We
It
have no
is.
control over it. Give
Yeah.
me my free water.
The problem is, though, that the citizens of Michigan at all spoke out. Our corrupt governor, of course, said, no, you're good, go ahead. But I agree with you. Will I buy Nestle?
His wife is
Not
on the
about-
board.
No, not his wife. Dennis Muchmore's wife.
Okay, well I know somebody's wife is
Yeah,
on the
oh yeah,
board.
it's a real.
But the thing is, if
Bastardized.
he's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you all this free water till
Yeah.
the end of the year. I'm gonna take it. I don't
Yeah.
care. I had no control over that contract. Nobody did. They made the deal. They letting them suck us dry. Well, you gonna give me all the free stuff
Yeah.
you got because I'm gonna
But
be
if
in
you
that
have to
line.
buy, but if you have to buy it, you're not going to buy Nestle.
No.
I'm not. I mean, I don't drink that anyway. I drink Dasani. So you know,
there you go.
I drink Dasani.
Well,
we
you're-
drink
you're-
Walmart, Kroger, we drink whatever's on
We
sale.
drink Dasani. And
Lisa, of course you drink Dasani. You make $12,500 a year.
right.
Or you did.
And the thing is, like, I
Rich
never drank
people.
any kind of bottled water other than Dasani for like I don't know how many years. But all the other water I use for everything else, so it's free. I'm going to use
Oh, yeah.
it
Right.
because
That's
if at the
It
end
doesn't
of the
matter.
year the churches run out of funds, like the
Right.
one on Court Street ran
Right.
out, then we SOL. We got to buy our own anyways. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna just take it until I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, see what it is. I don't
give
even
to
know
me
what. I don't
free.
even know what brand the box. Remember, the box ones.
Yeah.
What is
The
that?
box water, I don't know,
Oh,
but
you
that's
don't-
very weird.
It's
That-
weird.
That,
It's very weird.
That
Very
that
weird.
5-year stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
military water.
Is that what that is?
And it expired in June, and they gave it to us in May.
Are you serious?
No, it expired. It had right on the box, because I had never seen the bottled water box
Oh
of
my
water.
God.
It's
We're not.
expired.
We're not even good
No,
for
no.
non-expired
The 5
stuff.
years. Look, the
We
4
can't even
years.
do that.
and-
I gotta wrap up. This has been so much fun. We gotta do this again. Will you guys join us?
Yes, absolutely.
Carrie, Jen, Deanna, and Lisa,
Yes.
and their names are right next to each other. I'm Mark. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.